Can the triangles be proven congruent with the information given in the diagram? If so, state the theorem you would use. Part A. Triangle EFG and triangle HDG. Looking at the diagram, notice that line segment DG is congruent to line segment GF. And angle DHE is congruent to angle GEF. And angle DGH is congruent to angle EGF. Yes, by the AAS congruence theorem, the triangle can be proven congruent because the corresponding angle, and then side are congruent in each triangle. Part B. Triangle PQM and triangle RQM. Looking at the diagram, you are given line segment PQ is congruent to line segment QR, and line segment QM is congruent to line segment QM by the reflexive property of congruence. But no, there is not enough information to prove that these two triangles are congruent. Part C. Triangle LMP and triangle NMP. Looking at the diagram, you are given line segment MP is congruent to line segment MP by the reflexive property of congruence. Angle LPM is congruent to angle NPM. And angle LMP is congruent to angle NMP. So yes, by the ASA congruence theorem, the triangles can be proven congruent because the corresponding angles, then sides, then angles are congruent in each triangle. Write a proof. Given that line segment DH is parallel to line segment FG and line segment DE is congruent to line segment EG, prove that triangle DEH is congruent to triangle GEF. Begin by setting up a statements and reasons table. Line segment DH is parallel to line segment FG, and line segment DE is congruent to line segment EG because this was given information. Then angle DEH is congruent to angle GEF by the vertical angles congruence theorem. Because looking at the diagram, you can see that these two angles are vertical angles because their sides form two pairs of opposite rays. Then angle D is congruent to angle G by the alternate interior angles theorem. Because looking at the diagram, both of these angles lie on opposite sides of the transversal and inside the parallel lines. So then triangle DEH is congruent to triangle GEF by the ASA congruence theorem, because you found corresponding angles, sides, and angles that are congruent in the corresponding triangles. Write a proof. Use the diagram and the given information. Prove that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle EBC using the AAS congruence theorem. Given that line segment AD is parallel to line segment EC, prove that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle EBC. Line segment AD is parallel to line segment EC because this was given information. Angle A is congruent to angle E by the alternate interior angles theorem because looking at the diagram, angle A and angle E are alternate interior angles because they lie on opposite sides of the transversal and inside the parallel lines. And angle D is congruent to angle C by the alternate interior angles theorem because looking at the diagram, angle D and angle C are alternate interior angles because they lie on opposite sides of the transversal and inside the parallel lines. And line segment BD is congruent to line segment BC because this was given information in the diagram. Then triangle ABD is congruent to triangle EBC by the AAS congruence theorem because you found corresponding angles, and sides that are congruent in the corresponding triangles.